Hi, everyone. Welcome to Clutch Entertainment today. And today we'll be talking about how you can start your own podcast, just like me. So I've been doing this podcast for about, I want to say I started it last summer around this time, but I didn't start uploading until November. So basically, I ended up just getting a bunch of plans together, getting a bunch of, ideas. I wanted to have like a show basically about like me myself talking about things and also about having guests on the show and then talking about other things. So basically what I wanted to do, the whole thing is I wanted to, express myself and to share my knowledge and to help others and as well as yourself to, find things maybe in my videos that are possibly good and possibly interesting. Maybe you'll pick up something from my videos, and there's a lot of different things that I've talked about in the past, and so I'm going to talk about how you can get started and what you can do to get on the road to do your own podcast. So I would say the first thing is brainstorm, and you want to like search topics and look at all the different things that you want to talk about. Some people focus on a specific subject, some people focus on a number of different things. I just figured with myself, I wanted to do a broad amount. I didn't want to limit myself because there's a number of different things that I like to do and look at. So I just definitely want to just express myself with whatever I know and what I'm an expert at. So another thing you can do is just like write down those ideas and make sure that you're putting yourself towards what you're gonna do, and A goes to B, B goes to C, C goes to D. Like basically have a plan and lay it out. And you want to get to that point where you're just like, oh, I can think of a video, I can do this. You want to be like confident in what you're saying and what you're doing. And then I would say figure out who your target audience is. If you're targeting everyone, just make a generalized video. If you're targeting kids specifically, you got to talk on the kids level. If you're talking to adults, you want to talk on an adult level. You just got to figure out what area you want to put yourself towards and what area you want to focus on in order to have the best videos you can. And having something interesting and having something that you're passionate about too, that's another big thing also when you're figuring out your audience. So like if you want to talk about learning how to paint or making a video or or just having a commentary with someone else, there's a number of different things you can talk about, and you just got to figure out what area you want to talk about and what makes you most expressive. I would say another step you need to have is like to have the software you need. You need like make sure you have a good mic, make sure you have a good like pair of headphones, make sure you have like the editing software, make sure you have a good computer. There's just a ton of different things in the list that you need, and you want to just make sure you have all those things. Having a list of things and what you want to have like as far as equipment can give you a good setup. And most of these things you can just buy on Amazon. There's a lot of good affordable items you can buy, and just to get started, even using like a cell phone, just to record videos. I mean, just get a decent cell phone and have a camera on it, and then you can record any video you want. That's another great thing about technology these days. You can record pretty much on anything. I would say another thing is to discuss a wide variety of topics, and or if, like I said before, if you're focusing on one topic, discuss a bunch of broad spectrum within that. And you want to be able to express on each section what your goal is and how to do these things, and that's very important. So for myself, like I decided I wanted to do top 10 videos. I wanted to do how-tos with some, and then I also wanted to talk about serious videos, and I just wanted to talk about, like with guests, like what people are experts on. Like one video I have is like with a lawyer. One video I have is like how to be a health expert. Another video is like about cars, like talking about these things with other people gives their input and also helps you overall because what to talk about and how to express yourself. I even had one about, talking about how Honduran culture is. That was a really interesting video too, because like I didn't realize how Honduran culture was, and I thought, oh, it'd be cool to make a video of like a Latin America culture, and seeing how things are. So having a wide variety of videos is really good and helps you out overall. I would say another thing is watch other podcasts and see how other people do it. Because if you watch other people, you could say, "Oh, that's how they do it. Like I can do that way also," or having some kind of like way to express yourself and seeing how they express themselves. Like you just compare yourself with them. Not saying in like a competitive way, necessarily, but I'm saying like more so of like how to critique yourself and how to another thing is to, take feedback from other people, but don't stray from your own path. So like if you want to do something with your podcast, I would definitely, focus on your podcast. But at the same time, I would say, if somebody's giving you input, don't be like, oh, I don't want to hear any of that input. Listen to the input, just see what they say. If they say, oh, I like your content, but it should be this. Okay, well, they have an opinion. But if it's something more so like, I think it would be great if, you had a little more of X and Y, like I would listen to that, Like if they're telling you like, oh, your show shouldn't be a podcast, it should be talking about something, like you don't have to listen to that. It's all about what you want to do with your podcast and how you want to set it up and how you want to present it to people. And that's the main thing that matters. It's about what you want to do, how you want to express yourself. And that's the big thing with the podcast. And I would say practice with yourself or someone if you're, not sure of how to do a podcast. If you want to just start a podcast and you want to be like, like, I'm not really sure, I'm kind of nervous. Like some people are nervous when they like, talk in general, or you're not talking at all. But if you like, for the first time, if you're not sure, spend time with families or friends or, pretty much anybody. And if you get in contact with them, you can practice yourself and you'll get good. I mean, it just takes time and experience. For myself, like I've had a lot of experience, like with radio and TV and talking to people and such. So that's what's really helped me. I've never really been like afraid or shy of that kind of thing. But overall, like I would say like, practicing is a big thing because it gets you out there and it gets you where you want to be. So I would say another thing is, just to be confident, smile. Like when I'm talking here, I'm smiling, I'm talking through my smile and I'm, enjoying myself while I do this podcast here. So I would say that's another big thing. You just want to, express yourself that you're feeling good and you're having a good time talking about what you're talking about. And it gives the other people or the audience like something to be like, oh, like he's really engaged. He's really, really like trying to, make me like entrenched into the, what you're talking about. And that's a really huge thing too. Like, getting your audience to, like what you're talking about and to say like, man, I really enjoy that. Like, I really want to be a part of that, and then also, another thing would be like, record like at a set time like that you have. Like if you're going to do a podcast, you want to set a time like, oh, I'm going to record during this time, or I'm going to take care of, this podcast during this time. Like if you set a lot of time or schedule a time to do these things, like it makes it a whole lot easier to make videos. It makes it a whole lot easier, to get to the next point and to get to, what you're trying to present to the, the overall audience. And I would say the next thing would be to like be knowledgeable in each of the topics you talk about. Because like you don't want to just talk about a subject that I don't know anything about, that wouldn't be very fun because you're like talking, you're just like, I don't know what to say next. So you want to always talk about something that, you're familiar with or what you know. So that's another thing, like to do the research beforehand. Like you just want to look at what you can do to make a good video, or what content in the video will make it good. And then I would say another thing would be to schedule uploads. Like, so I would, make a set date and time. So like my videos, for example, like this one, go up every Tuesday at 8:00 in the morning. So that's when I schedule my videos. So they upload at 8 a.m. in the morning on every Tuesday. So I schedule a few ahead. So basically, like this video that I'm making right now will be a few weeks old when it comes out. But basically, scheduling these ahead of time makes it a lot easier because you're just going out there and you're just scheduling the videos, and you just don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I got to make a video right now. Like, that makes a huge difference because it takes the pressure off you, and since it's recorded too. At some point, I do want to do like a recorded, like not a recorded, but a live session. I think that would be cool. But if I did a live session, I would want to do it with a number of people and just talk about a bunch of different stuff. So I think that would be a lot of fun, maybe like for 1 week or something. But and I would say like some of the last things you can do. One of them is like read up on other topics. Like I was saying before, like see when you watch other people's content and such, like make sure you do the research. Like I was talking about before, like when you be knowledgeable, like know what you're going to say before you're going to say it. Write out an outline. Like that's another thing I do before I, do a podcast. Like I write an outline like on a piece of paper. I just write it in little bits and pieces, and that helps me to like remember, oh, this word means, oh, I should talk about this, or this word means I should talk about this, It gives you a really easy way to present and go really smoothly. And the whole podcast flows pretty well. Like when you're talking, you're in the zone. It gets you to the next point where you're like, oh, I'm talking about this. I know what I'm doing. I'm ready and focused, and I'm set towards this. So I would say overall, like that would be the main things. But last of all, like just enjoy yourself when you do it. Like if you're having a podcast, like have some fun with it. Express yourself. Choose what your topics want to be. Like have a good time with it. There's so many things to talk about in this world. Like you could talk about anything from religion to sports to music. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Could you imagine like how many different things you could talk about in hours and hours and hours? There's so many. And then like set a time limit for like how long your videos go. Like I try to do like 15 minutes. Sometimes they go over, sometimes they're less. But I mean, if you have like a target, that's what I would shoot for. I would shoot for some kind of target. But overall, like doing a podcast is a lot of fun, and I recommend anybody should pick it up. Everyone should hear other people's opinions, and it influences the world and makes your voice go out there. So thank you for watching Clutch Entertainment today. If you have any questions or if you have any additional comments you want to say in the comment section below, that would be great. And make sure you should like and subscribe on this video. And thank you very much, and have a great day. Have a great weekend.